I just got back from a concert. And this time I'm eating an 𝒔𝒕𝒖𝒅𝒊𝒐 ice block strawberry flavor. And I'm filming this because I forgot to do an intro. So this is the intro. Animation this semester was weird. It wasn't exactly like Cal Art stuff. It was more like graphic design. The unit is technically called Design for Multimedia, something like that. We used After Effects and Animate, but I preferred After Effects because Animate is a nightmare. And the last assignment was that we could get to make something autobiographical based on a song, a poem, a story, whatever. And my mum wrote me a song when I was little. I'm not going to spoil too much about it because I'm going to show you the song at the end with the story and everything. And it's like a Romanian folk song / fairy tale type of thing. And I loved it very much and I remembered it even now. So I wanted to do that. And it was a lot of work. I decided to do silhouette puppetry, like Lottie Reininger. So like paper cuts with like the shadows or whatever are the inspiration. I just kind of did it like stop motion style with some puppetry. I have a bit of a tantrum, which we'll get to. But yeah, it was really fun. I got food poisoning and almost died in the middle. So that was cool. I still have the evidence of all of these bottles of Gatorade. This was the cereal. That's what I'm working on, some embroidery. I was literally just sitting here for like 20 hours a day and eating plain gluten-free cereal with oat milk and trying to not die. And I still managed to get my assignment done. So, yeah. What am I doing with all this black paper? Well, I'm making shadow puppets, baby. And it all boils down to my love of Lottie Reininger. Basically, she invented animation. Disney used her cameras, her styles. They took inspiration from her for doing fairy tales, all sorts of things. The assignment was to do a personal story, and my mum wrote me a folk song when I was little, so I'm doing that story. It's about a wolf that wants to eat all the sheep in the village because it's hungry. And an uncle comes out and shoots the wolf and it's a happy ending. So I'm gonna start with the biggest wolf, and that is the dead wolf. Spoiler alert. And we're gonna cut it out and see how it looks. So what you don't see at the beginning, which unfortunately I didn't show, is that I actually put together a storyboard, and that's what this wolf is from. On my iPad in Procreate, I basically drew every single scene of the story and I sent it through for approval before I continued with the project. So I blew up everything to the size I thought I would need and just taped it down on black card. This card was expensive. It was $12 for like 3 decent sized pieces. It was rough. And God, I wish you could play music on YouTube because like the playlist I used for this is such a banger, and I'm stuck with, it's still decent music, but you just don't get to see how good my music taste is. My camera died, so I'm using photo booth to deal with it. I'm really happy with this. I was kind of worried that these wouldn't look like blood puddles, but I feel like, you know, context clues. It works quite well. The scary thing is, this is very sharp. This one is pretty shit, so I'm gonna go with the expensive Viscous one. I'm glad I got this as a backup, because that was my main, this was my backup, and I bought this and stabbed myself already, so that's fun. I feel like this paw doesn't look quite right. I don't want to tweak it because this took me like 17 minutes, and if I mess it up, I can't like fix it. There's no erasing here, so I'm just gonna go with it. The other thing that sucks is this cutting mat is very green and dark, so I can't see the tiny details. But the second I put it up to my shirt, I can see what happened. Or I put it like the beauty guru way. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with this. I'm gonna put it to the side. I've got to designate an area for paper scraps because I'm accumulating a lot of them. generic wolf pixel art. Now these wolves were, I guess, the beginning of realizing how difficult this project was going to be. You really have to press super hard. That card is really thick, and if you don't press hard enough and you try and go over, you end up with like weird tears. And this was like the first part of the project that was like super finicky. It was rough, but you know, it was still a good experience. I don't think I'd ever cut out things for an animation. I love stop motion animation, and I will continue to love watching it, but I wouldn't do something like this again. Yeah, it was rough. Drawn things, sure. Even if it's more work, that's fine, but it's more like going on a spiral path up a mountain rather than going straight up, because this feels like going straight up the mountain. Just the physical labor of it, you'll see later, I complain a lot about the physical pain that I end up in because of how difficult it was to cut everything out. Some of the ideas I had didn't work that well. Things were a bit wonky. I do love that full moon though. Here's the living room. I moved into there because I was not comfortable on the floor. I did a few trees. I really hated the one that I cut branches out of, and you'll see later that I cover that up. But yeah, these were interesting. I had this idea to make like this round earth that rotates, similar to stuff I'd seen with Lotte Reininger and some other stop motion stuff, but it was really like difficult, and you'll see that's when I have my little tantrum. I was like slowly dying, and I was just so exhausted, so like, you know, I'm surprised I didn't have a breakdown earlier. I loved cutting out the grass and like little bushes. Oh, this is probably my favorite thing that I worked on. I absolutely loved cutting out all the little windows in the little village houses. Yes, it was finicky, and yeah, it was hard to see what I was doing at times. But yeah, I loved it. You can kind of see parts of the storyboard on my right, on the screen is on the left, but do not worry, you will get to see the storyboard because I put it up as like a guide to help me work. And also you can see that I finally had like a scrap bin for all my recycling to go in, so yay for me. It's really, really hurting my finger. Like, oh look, I've got like a weird, it's starting to really, really hurt. It's a lot of pressure cutting through that card. So I'm gonna, I love when my neighbor's babies scream like baby demons. I'm gonna take a break because that's feeling pretty shitty. This is a few hours later. I continued working and I put on like a fingerless glove because for some reason I thought it would help, and it kinda did. It softened my grip, but I don't know. I love this song. It's called Grilled Cheese. It's very, very cozy, and it had been raining a lot, and it was just, I was getting into a kind of a sour mood because of how, yeah, you can see I'm rubbing my fingers, I'm sore, I'm tired. Yeah, it was rough. I don't know, I can't really romanticize this project. There were elements that I loved, and even if I love how things looked, it was a pain in the ass to do. Especially when you think about it, like some of these assets were only on screen for like 5-10 seconds. So it's pretty rough if you look at it that way, but I do really love how everything turned out. You can see Legolas in the top right there, just going to town, cleaning himself. I don't know what else to say. It's just, yeah, that just cutting stuff out. Very quick phone cam. I look like an egg, and a terrifying one at that. But basically, my hand was getting so much pain, and my wrist and these two fingers, especially like in between here, that I had to take a break. So this whole day I just, I watched Coraline with my brother, I did a bunch of other stuff, we watched some LD Shadow Lady Minecraft stuff, because it's nice for him to see women doing cool gaming things. Watch some Simonietch to watch some women doing cool science things. And I'm just building some cool stuff in Minecraft for him, for us to play together. Yeah, I think that the worst part of working on a project, especially as someone who's chronically ill and incredibly busy, is that it's not as aesthetic as you'd want it to be. The process isn't as smooth or as fun. Like, I haven't changed clothes in a couple days. It's cold, it's been raining, so it's not like I'm all sweaty or anything, but I still feel kind of gross. I just don't have time. And the time I do have is spent either eating or cooking or with my brother or doing my caring duties. So it's rough. There's not really anything I can do to change how things function. That's just my life. And I have many privileges that I'm very grateful for. But the absence of some privileges really make life hard. Like, God, I wish I had money. Like, all of my problems could pretty much be solved if I had money. But whatever. We're just doing our best, you know? As long as we're kind people who care about making good things to bring joy to others, that's what's important. Anyway, rant over. Good night. Also, big shout out to 𝒔𝒕𝒖𝒅𝒊𝒐 for posting about his masterclass in stop motion animation and recommending the Amazon stop motion app, because that's what I used for my second assignment and I just got my mark back. I got an 82% distinction, baby. It's very good, very useful. And yeah, back to your regularly scheduled programming. This is the next day. I was feeling miserable. There's not much more to say than that. But yeah, I was listening to a podcast at this point and that really helped to like zone out. I was working on the little sheep and that rooster turned out so beautiful. I really, really loved it. And the sheep, actually, instead of throwing everything away or just putting it away, I put it in a special like picture book. I kind of made like a picture book where I glued everything in. And that was really cool. This is like the little scene of the sheep, and it was like the first moment where things started to come together. This is my little stop motion studio. I have really bad food poisoning. I thought I was dying. I thought I had COVID. Turns out it was just food poisoning. I am going to be reporting that restaurant because this is the second time I've gotten sick from there. And yep, so here we go. This part went a lot smoother than I was expecting. I decided to use photos for the introduction because it wasn't long enough, and having to like stand up and like strain and then sit back up. I know it doesn't look like it's very labor intensive, but like it ends up hurting your back. I don't know, but yeah, the curtains were weird. It was hard to position things perfectly. Like people who do like full-time stop motion animation, like the people who work for Leica Studios and that kind of thing, wow. I severely underestimated the amount of blue tack I need. It is sweltering and I can't have a fan on in here because obviously the paper will fly everywhere. I have a vein on my head that's popping out from how tired and delirious I am, but by darn it, I'm gonna get this done because an extension will be like pulling off a band-aid slowly, whereas just doing this while suffering from food poisoning is just gonna get it over with faster because I can't deal with this anymore. So let's do this. Here I am, minding my own business, working on my the little world that's going to be spinning around. Whee! And I see these little brown spots on this, and I'm thinking, did I eat at the dining table on top of this? There's no way. And then I look a little closer, and it's cat paws. I got cat feet on my assignment. It's the new, my dog ate my homework, I guess. you can see that I realized I had to sit down and blue tack everything individually before I started trying to make scenes. Here's another little glimpse of the storyboard. I was just trying to figure out how to get things put together. And then I also realized later that I didn't need to put blue tack on things. But, you know, you live, you learn. I wanted things to be secure, so I'm glad that I started that way and had to reverse rather than have things not be secured. And yeah, here you go. You can see now that I put up the storyboard. I don't know what else to say. It's the storyboard. That's what it looked like. I really like it. I think it's very cute. Yeah, this was rough. This was not fun. I tried reinforcing it. I'm not an animation studio like Disney or, you know, any other place like the Leica Studios or what Lottie Reininger had in her studio. It was rough. I was on the brink of fainting from food poisoning, and it kept getting caught and nothing was turning out smoothly. I could have done stop motion, but I didn't think I was actually filming. But yeah, here is me having a little tantrum and breakdown over it. I'm so done. I'm so done. Yeah, I realized I needed that wolf back, so I fixed it and then started working on everything else. I did take like a 20-minute break in between just because I was so tired and frustrated, and it was not my day. It wasn't fair, I guess. I don't know, the world isn't fair, and I just felt like everything was against me and, you know, all that cliche stuff. But, you know, everything passes. Not to turn this into like a self-improvement or like philosophical kind of thing, but it really, in that moment, I felt so overwhelmed. But like watching this footage back, I just feel a sense of calm because I don't feel that way anymore. I'm struggling now in my own way. I'm having like a bit of a depressive episode, so that's not fun. But it's really assuring to know that this shit passes. You will survive, and, you know, whether or not you want to is a different story, but the fact that you can survive and that there's things to be happy about and look forward to. Like, I don't love all the process in this, but I love how it turned out, and I wouldn't trade anything for the way that this turned out. I love the style. I'm not going to work on it again. I won't do shadow puppetry kind of stuff ever again, I think. But if you asked me if I'd go back in time and change my medium, I would not. It really works. It's so nostalgic and it's just so special. I don't think you can emulate it, you know, in any other medium. It's something really special, and I wanted to, you know, to pay an homage to it. Here you can see a little zoom in of how the software works. It's really, really cool. I highly recommend it if you want to do stop motion. It shows you your onion skin layers so that you can see what the last thing on your screen was, like the last shot you took. And I do love this little book. I do. And we're almost finished. The last thing I filmed was the little rooster with the little sunrise, and it's so special, huh? I am finally finished with filming. Now I just have to import everything and edit everything. But first I'm gonna have a break because, as you can see, I'm sweaty again. This stuff is like super labor intensive. Weird. The evidence of my food poisoning, a lot of Gatorade for electrolytes, cereal because it was the only thing I could eat, and a blanket because I was getting chills. And now I'm gonna edit this bad boy. Okay, so there's not much of me editing because it really was very, very basic. It would just be you watching me stare at a screen, and that would not be interesting at all. So this is all you get. Just me editing, and now for the final. the reveal. Yeah, hi, hello. Not only did I forget to film an intro for this video, so I did it on photo booth, but I also forgot to film the outro, because that's how big brained I am. No, I'm genuinely like super exhausted and I cannot wait to just relax non-stop until next semester. Actually, I'm gonna do a lot this summer. I've got a lot of projects and stuff going on. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the finale and show you what the actual animation looks like. So, the animation is already live on my channel. You can go and watch it. I'll put a link right now so that you can see what it looks like. It's going to be right at the end card. So it's 3 minutes. You'll enjoy it. I'm sure it was really fun to do. Very stressful, but yeah. Let me know if you liked this behind the scenes kind of look at a project, if you wanted to see like a whole process, if you prefer the time lapse with like the narration, or if you just want snippets in slower time, or a combination. I like filming it this way, I like editing it this way, but I'm always open to whatever feedback you have, because even though this is like a personal thing, I'm creating content for people to enjoy, so it's not just what I want, it's what you all want as well. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.